The Bristol 223, the UK supersonic Concorde predecessor. It has been 52 years since the Concorde first took flight, but the seeds that grew the program were planned far earlier. Earlier this week, we established that Sud Aviation Super Caravelle helped shape France's involvement in the supersonic program. However, it was the Bristol Type 223 that catalyzed the UK's progress in this field. In November 1956, the UK set up the Supersonic Transport Advisory Committee, STAC, to study the feasibility of supersonic passenger aircraft. Experts and officials from airlines, manufacturers, and government departments came together here to produce around 400 written submissions to show that it would be viable to conduct commercial supersonic operations. Over the next few years, it was determined that two supersonic types should be developed. The first was proposed, a medium-range airliner with 100 seats and a cruise speed of Mach 1.2, or in comparison, 800 miles per hour. Meanwhile, the other proposal was a 150-passenger transatlantic Mach 1.8, or 1,200 miles per hour airliner. The government put the medium range option on the back burner to prioritize proposals for long range options. Hawker Siddeley Aviation proposed a thick delta wing with an integral fuselage. However, the committee was in favor of the BAC idea, which was being labeled the Type 213. Aerospace engineer Archibald Russell designed the Mach 2.7 proposal, which was heavily influenced by the issues encountered with the Bristol 188, another supersonic research aircraft that was being built in the 1950s. Therefore, he favored the lower speed alloy plane. The BAC then merged to the Type 198. This type had a thin delta wing, 6 Olympus engines, and an underslung fuselage. The prospective issues with the plane over wing engine into placements during supersonic activity, along with the 198's greater weight and the lesser efficiency of 6 engines, caused authorities to request a smaller, lighter model with 100 seats. It will also need to comfortably make transatlantic trips for Olympus engines. Thus, BAC started the design of the Bristol Type 223 with a maximum takeoff weight of 250,000 pounds or 113,400 kilometers. The Type 223 was being designed to reach a maximum speed of 1,450 miles per hour or 2,330 kilometers per hour and have a range of 2,900 nautical miles or 5,300 kilometers. Meanwhile, its service ceiling was proposed to be about 60,000 feet or 18,000 meters. Moreover, its empty weight would have been 104,000 pounds or 41,174 kilograms, and its gross weight would have been 251,700 pounds or 114,169 kilograms. A crew of 6 people was required to transport 90 passengers. Additionally, the plane would have a length of 176 feet and 6 inches or 53.80 meters and a wingspan of 70 feet or 21.34 meters. A wing area of 3,700 square feet and a height of 45 feet or 10.67 meters. During this period, the government gathered that such a program would be incredibly expensive and demanding. Thus, officials asked BAC to look into the prospects of an international collaboration to ease the burden. The UK invited the United States, Germany, and France to join in with this venture. However, Germany declined due to its industry limitations at the time. While the US was working on its own program, on the other hand, France showed its interest in the program and partnered up with the UK to work on the groundbreaking supersonic program. France said aviation was initially focused on perfecting Air France routes between Europe and North Africa. However, the following talks with the British, they were opening up to the idea of a product to serve flights across the Atlantic Ocean. During this time, BAC and Said Aviation agreed that they were working on similar designs and that the latter considered that it had no available suitable jet engines at its disposal for such a modern aircraft. The UK was the only country that had the right engine in the form of the Olympus 593. Notably, it would have taken its counterparts across the English Channel years to come up with a viable engine solution. As the 1960s got into full swing, the dialogue became deeper. As a result, the UK and France signed a treaty to formally join forces on supersonic transport. Both aircraft were largely funded by the respective governments, and the British design was for a fin-wing delta-shaped transatlantic ranged aircraft for about 100 people, which owed much work of the Dietrich Kucheman, while the French were intending to build a medium-range aircraft, Heritage Concorde shares. Overall, both the UK and France showed their strong belief in the future of supersonic transport of the partnership in the 1960s. The industry of both sides displayed that they were willing to adapt for the new market to take off. There is also an example of how alliances are needed in order for such ambitious programs to get going. This is an aspect that is still prevalent today, with several different joint ventures launching in the new age of supersonic transport research.